I'm Miranda Cosgrove, and this is Mission Unstoppable. Coming up, I smell a good story.
I was thinking that we could make you a custom fragrance.
That would be awesome.
Have you ever wondered about the science behind your favorite perfume?
Stems and Roses, a brand new scent from Julianne and Nabeel.
Then, think those tears come from the heart? Think again. Dr. Brain dives into the science of how our brain makes us cry.
Tears can actually be good for us.
And see how a Texas community brought back their birds.
If you take care of the birds, you take care of most of the environmental problems in the world.
Plus, our very own electric cat leaves the planet.
You start to see what looks like a circle of darkness. You're in space.
Does she come back? Stay tuned to find out. Get ready to meet the scientists, inventors, and heroes who help make our world a better place. The future is here. The mission, unstoppable. The job title perfumer really tells you what that person does. They make perfume. But how does someone make perfume? With science, of course. We sent Nabeel to sniff us out a story.
The human nose can distinguish just about 1 trillion smells. Yeah, that's trillion with a T. While some occur naturally, others are created in labs. Like the smell of cleaning products or the scent of your mom's favorite candle. Which, by the way, while I'm here, am I the only one whose mom is obsessed with buying candles? She bought like 40 of her favorite scent, linen drying in the sunshine.
But what makes our favorite smells smell so good? Today, I'm here at the Institute of Art and Olfaction, and I'm about to meet with an expert perfumer named Julianne Lee.
I became a perfumer through my love of scents. I went to college for art and philosophy, and I've always loved creating things. And I realized there are people who make perfumes, and I wanted to join them.
So, I hear you are a perfumer. What exactly does that mean?
It means that I am the person who creates the formulas behind a lot of the smells that you might encounter in your life.
Wow. So, I'm hearing formulas. Does that mean that there's chemistry involved?
Yes, indeed. So it's a really interesting mix of both science and art. You gotta be creative when you're creating these smells, whether they're perfumes or detergents, or, you know, a candle in your home. But you also need to know how those chemicals work together, whether it's natural or synthetic compounds.
Can I smell some stuff here today?
I was thinking that we could make you a custom fragrance using some of my favorite materials.
That would be awesome. So what kind of materials do we have in front of us here?
We have a variety of natural and synthetic materials, and some absolutes, some essential oils, some single molecules even.
Ooh, some single molecules.
So it sounds to me like natural materials have a natural origin, meaning we make them out of things we can find on Earth already, like essential oils and botanical extracts. Julianne explains that synthetic materials, which are created in a lab by chemists, are becoming much more popular, partially because the natural ones are being overly harvested.
Here I've pulled some things that are some of my favorite materials that I thought we could use.
For our scent creation, Julianne has brought out her best ingredients. The base ingredient is bergamot essential oil, to which we add rose absolute. It's so extremely concentrated that it takes 650 pounds of rose damascena petals to make 1 pound of it. Now that's a lot of roses. If it was between getting my girlfriend 650 pounds of roses or a bottle of perfume, I think my wallet would choose perfume every time. Now the next ingredient is called blue tansy essential oil. This is another great example of an extremely concentrated scent. In fact, 100% blue tansy is so strong, perfumers typically use a diluted form of it.
0.1%, that's just a drop pretty much.
I know. I'm surprised you can still see blue in the 0.1%.
And trust me, you can still smell it. That's the wild part.
No way.
Next, we add benzoene retinoid. This is a sweet-smelling natural material used since the 14th century. After that, we added in a single molecule ingredient called Cevilox, which happens to be the only synthetic ingredient we're using today. And then it was finally time to smell.
Here is today's custom concoction for you.
How exciting.
So we're gonna give it a little swirl. Do you wanna smell it?
Oh, it's amazing. I love my custom scent. What are we gonna call it?
It's a good question.
Science related, but also like captures the essence of the materials we put in.
How about stems and roses?
Stems and roses, that's brilliant. I can't believe you just came up with that. Okay, you know what this means? We have to do an ad for this.
Oh, okay.
Stems and Roses, a brand new scent from Julianne and Nabeel, where science meets beauty. And with that, I bid you adieu.
Oh,
Bye, Julianne.
bye.
Why do we sometimes cry because of overwhelming grief, and other times because we saw a gum commercial about two people falling in love? Those tears have something to do with your brain. And I know just the person that can explain.
When was the last time you cried? I cry all the time. Like, all the time. Like when that Olivia Rodrigo driver's license song comes on. I mean, she was only 16. She's not ready for that kind of heartbreak. I used to fight the tears, but then I learned the science behind them. And guess what? No need to fear the tears. Tears can actually be good for us. Hi, I'm Dr. Brain. Okay, my real name is Crystal Dilworth, but I have a PhD in neuroscience, so it's easier to just call me Dr. Brain. So, I'm Dr. Brain! Tears can be triggered by all kinds of overwhelming emotions, from things that make us feel good, like joy and surprise, to things that make us feel bad, like grief and anger. But what exactly are tears? Tears are what we call the salty liquid and proteins released from glands in our eyes called lacrimal glands. Has anyone ever called you lachrymose? Okay, probably not. But if they did, that word is used to describe being full of tears. And the word comes from the lacrimal glands that produce them. Our bodies have 3 kinds of tears. The first are the tears that normally keep our eyes wet and clean. These are called basal tears. Second are the tears that well up when you're cutting onions or when something gets stuck in your eye. These are called reflexive tears because they happen reflexively in response to irritation or injury. The third type of tears are emotional tears, and that's what we're most interested in. I mean, I'm called Dr. Brain, not Dr. Onion. Babies cry to get attention and alert caretakers that they're in distress. But as we get older, tears can be triggered not just by physiological needs, but by emotional needs. And our emotional tears are special. Other animals don't cry like we do. Humans are the only species that responds to emotions by leaking liquid from our eyes. Take that, birds. I think flying is so great. It turns out that emotional tears are actually chemically different from other types of tears. They have more protein and contain some stress hormones that aren't even in basal or reflexive tears. We cry these special tears when we experience extreme emotional states, strong feelings like joy, grief, anger, and surprise. We even cry in empathy, like when we watch emotional movie scenes and react to the action even though we aren't living through the drama ourselves. This emotional crying triggers the release of endorphins that helps us manage our emotional states. These endorphins provide a way for us to reduce stress and pain and calm ourselves down when we're overly excited. These tears also trigger the release of oxytocin, a hormone that helps us feel comforted and cared for. It's released in warm, fuzzy moments, like when we get hugs from our friends or when we see baby animals. Aww, look at them. They're so cute. Together, all these chemicals help lower our heart rate, calm our breathing, and promote a general feeling of well-being. So the next time you shed some tears, remember that crying is just our brain and body trying to take care of us, and the release of tears reminds us that we are very, very human. Olivia, if you're listening to this, don't worry. You will love again. I gotta go.
Science is a community of people working together to understand our world. And honestly, I'm kind of jealous. I'm here by myself in this digital space. Let's see what I'm missing. They say one person's trash is another person's treasure, and nothing exemplifies that like the Trinity River Audubon Center, just 5 minutes from downtown Dallas. This area used to be a toxic waste site, so full of trash and chemicals from illegal dumping that if you had stacked it all up, it would have measured as high as the Empire State Building. But today, this 120-acre stretch of Blackland Prairie has gone from trash dump to national treasure with the help of the National Audubon Society and conservationists like Shelley White.
I'm not a scientist. I'm actually a business person with a business background. But I love nature, and I love the Trinity River, and I love the city of Dallas, which is why I am here. I'm learning to become a scientist every day in this job.
And that job is working with her team to revitalize the area back into a flourishing ecosystem. A task that, as team member Jake explains, is for the birds.
Nearly 300 species of bird have been documented here, so this place is super important because they're so specific of their needs. We're providing habitat for the painted bunting, which is a beautiful neotropical migrant. And in the wintertime, we have birds like the Harris's sparrow, which is the only breeding songbird that's endemic to Canada. So every Harris's sparrow that winters in the Blackland Prairie was born in the Arctic tundra.
But how does the center convince the up to 2 billion birds who migrate through every year that there's a reason to stop and get off the beaten flight path? The answer might throw you for a loop, a cycle of life loop. And that begins with seeds. Once propagated, these seeds then grow into plants, which become part of a pollinator garden, which in turn attracts insects. Now, before the thought of creepy crawlies makes your skin feel creepy crawly, team member Keegan explains why this is a good thing.
You know, bugs are such an important part of the ecosystem. They're tiny, they're little, but they're doing a really important job. They are breaking down the gifts that these plants have to offer in terms of seeds, in terms of their root systems, in terms of different fruits that they offer. And these bugs are taking them and then distributing the pollen and the seeds so that the plants can thrive.
And those plants, bugs, and fruit are what tempt the birds who soar above the central flyway looking for a nest stop.
But so important that we're restoring this habitat. If you take care of the birds, you take care of most of the environmental problems in the world, says Thomas Lovejoy.
And once these now rested birds continue on their journey, they'll disperse seeds as they go, beginning the cycle all over again. A cycle that fosters a lush, restored habitat, which benefits the folks who started it all.
We actually wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community. They came together and they made sure to advocate for green space. It was once an environmental liability, and now it's an environmental asset.
Shelley agrees, knowing how far this area has come.
What this land has been through, it is my hope that we are able to restore the habitat and it continues to thrive and carry on for future generations.
A little bird tells me they're on the right track. Crazy idea. What if we had another scientist on? Like right now. Random, I know, but it'll be fun, I promise.
I have wanted to go to space my entire life. It has always been the goal. I am Katia Chazarreta, and I am the first Mexican woman in space and the youngest American woman in space so far. Space for Humanity came into my life when I was a NASA engineer. Back in 2019, I saw an application. Now that commercial flights have become available, Space for Humanity is a nonprofit organization that wants to sponsor flights for amazing individuals so that they can go to space and have this transformative experience. When they told me that they had selected me to go to space, I immediately started crying.
I'm excited to tell you that I'm going to be our citizen astronaut #1, and you're going to space.
My mom is gonna freak out. It was both gratitude, pride, and just such a deep love for the field that had welcomed me in this way. I definitely noticed right away that I was the only woman in the team. And unfortunately, this is something that has been very common for me ever since I decided to study engineering. And that is one of my biggest missions, to change that. I think that training to go to space is probably one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life, because it's kind of like space camp, but real. the day of the launch, when we drove up to the rocket, I felt a lot of emotions. It feels like your life coming full circle. When the rocket took off, the sky is such a beautiful blue around you, but above, you start to see what looks like a circle of darkness. And seconds later, you're in space. One of the coolest parts of this experience was, of course, microgravity. I didn't know how I would react to it or be in it, but it was surprisingly natural, and I say that now as someone who trained for days to be able to be in it. But it is just so interesting the way you can move across an entire capsule with the force of your 2 fingers. From top to bottom, it is a pretty quick trip, but it does not feel like it at all. From launch to landing, it is about 15 minutes. Being the first Mexican woman in space has been very special. I have seen the eyes and the faces of children of Mexico, little girls who are coming up to me crying. I will turn and look at their moms and say, what's wrong? Why are they crying? And they will say, she's feeling that because she heard you talk about this experience. For my entire life, I thought that my goal of going to space was the end goal. Now I realize it is only the beginning, and I will not stop until I see the next Mexican little girl or boy in space.
Welcome back. Before we go, we have one last thing.
One cliche about working in science is people think that you've always been good at science, but that's not true. I haven't always loved science. I mean, for the most part, I was like an art kid, but there's actually more that is shared between art and science than you might think. It's something that I have actually discovered as a new passion in my life through perfume.
The best advice I could give, and this is what everyone will always tell you, is to find your passion. And it's hard. It is hard. We can go one direction, and sometimes it changes. Look at me, I was a business person, and now I'm in science, but I'm right where I need to be. I would suggest finding that passion, and if you're having trouble locating it, volunteer a few places.
When I was 7 years old, I remember I turned to my mom one day and I asked her, what is the hardest thing someone can do? And she said, for you, and based on what you like, probably being an astronaut. I remember I thought about that answer. I said, astronaut. Okay, that's what I'll do.
That's it for Mission Unstoppable. Come back next time for a special holiday episode. We're still figuring out what holiday, but hopefully it's one of the ones where you get presents. Bye. If you're watching this, you must have really liked the video. Make sure you follow and subscribe, and check out these other videos that are even better. No, really. I've seen this one over 100 times.